Beloved, have you ever asked yourself why a word can cut deeper than a knife? Why a look can make your whole day dark? Why the past keeps returning like an unwelcome guest? Sit with that question for a moment. Feel the ache in your chest when you remember being wronged, or when someone's small, careless act replaying in your mind still makes you wince. Now ask yourself a second question. Must it be so? Is that pain inevitable? Or is there a simple turning that, once made, makes you unbreakable? When I talk to you, I speak plainly. The first thing to understand is that what people call hurt is not mostly an outside thing. It is not chiefly in the deed or in the word. It is in the taking. Two people can hear the same sentence and one will smile and the other will carry the sentence in his chest like a stone. Why this difference? Because one receives the sentence as if it were true about himself, and the other sees it as only the other person's poor speech. The difference is the seat of the mind. One man lives in his name, his role, his pride. The other lives in a deeper, quieter place that knows itself and therefore is not easily disturbed. After this video, we will discover no one can hurt you anymore. If you enjoy, please give me a like and comment below. We love to read it all. Let's dive deep together. Think of a mirror. If a smudge is on the mirror and you look at yourself, you see the smudge. If the mirror is clean, the picture shines. The world's insults, betrayals, and cold shoulders are the smudge. If you carry the smudge as your identity, then everything you see will be troubled. But if you polish the mirror, if you keep your heart clear by the steady practice of prayer and meditative awareness, then the poor reflections of others do not mar your true sight. They wash off. That is the first practical truth. You cannot always change how people act, but you can change where you stand inside yourself. How do you make that inner turning? Not by cleverness, not by pretending, but by love and self-remembering. Begin by learning to withdraw from the external drama a little each day. Close your eyes and breathe. I do not mean a forced, ornamental breath, but a gentle coming home. Let your breath be your rope to God. With each inhale, think of drawing in God's presence. With each exhale, let go of the tight, small self that panics and blames. This is not a ritual for the learned only. It is everyday work. Do it when you wake, do it when the coral heats, do it when the mind races at night. The habit of returning to the center will, over time, make your heart strong. Understand also that forgiveness is a muscle. If you are waiting to forgive until you feel like it, you will wait forever. Forgiveness is a deliberate act of freedom. When you forgive, you do not necessarily pretend the wrong did not happen. You simply refuse to carry the poison. Many of you think forgiveness honors the other person. It does not. It honors you. I have seen disciples hold on to their grievances as if they were trophies, proud of their right to be resentful. But resentment is like walking around with a hot coal in your hand and expecting the other person to be burned. Release the coal. It scorches you, not them. When one person offends you, see him as one who is blind to his higher nature. Beneath every harsh action is a deeper need, a greater suffering. If you can look at the offender and say inwardly, "Poor soul, how small and frightened you are," your heart will soften and the sting will lessen. Compassion does not excuse sin. It dissolves the power of sin to disturb you. The moment you meet cruelty with compassionate understanding, you are already free of its grip. Another practical point, and please listen carefully. You are not your mistakes, and you are not your reputation. Many of you have a small inner critic that repeats the insults you once heard, time and again, like a stuck record. The critic is cruel because it is loyal to a story you tell yourself. I am unlovable. I am a failure. I must protect myself. Watch that inner speech. When the critic speaks, do not feed it. Observe from the quiet place and say, "That is only thought." Labeling the thought as thought is a very small but powerful practice. It creates distance. When a thought no longer identifies you, it loses its power to wound. And be practical about your life with people. Boundaries are not unkind walls. They are the polite fences of love. If someone repeatedly harms you, you do not become a saint by staying within the danger. You become wise. Limit that person's access. Speak your truth simply. Often the willingness to speak plainly removes hidden resentments. But make your speech come from calm. If you speak while your blood is hot, you only add fuel. Speak after you have come home to your breath, after the mirror is cleaned, and you will be surprised how fewer wars are needed. There is another secret most people miss. True power to be unharmed comes from the steady practice of praising God. Praise is not only for temples and hymns. Praise alters the chemistry of the mind. When you begin with a grateful heart, when you list the simple, ordinary gifts of the day, you enlarge your heart. A large heart has no room for small hurts. Gratitude and praise are like oil on the hinges of the soul. They loosen the creaking of the ego and let the door swing wide. Now, a word about identity. You may believe you are the sum of your relationships, son, daughter, husband, friend. In many ways, those roles are beautiful, but they are not ultimate. When your sense of self clings too tightly to any one relationship, you set yourself up for pain. The wise practice is to love fully and to be free always. Love without clinging is a difficult art. It requires trust in God's plan. If you give your heart away utterly yet rest in the knowledge that God guards your heart, then the absence or betrayal of another cannot destroy you. That does not make you cold. It makes you steady. Let me offer a simple daily routine that has helped many seekers. Each morning, sit for a few moments and ask, "To whom do I belong?" Let your answer be, "I belong to God." For 5 minutes, breathe with that thought. When difficulties come, bring that same phrase back. The moment you affirm your belonging to the divine, ordinary slights fall away like dry leaves. Attachment to human applause is light. Attachment to God's presence is cement. Build on the cement. Another practice. Inwardly repeat a short prayer or name of God whenever you feel attacked. It need not be long, 2 words, God, help, or the name of your chosen form. The mind cannot hold 2 tensions at once. The clamor of resentment and the calm of your prayer cannot both occupy the inner room. One will go. Let the prayer be your choice. Stories teach better than sermons. Once a boy came to me furious because a friend had betrayed him. He wanted vengeance. I looked at him and asked, "Why do you wish to carry that burden?" He answered, "He has wronged me." I said, "Is his wrongdoing something you can change by punishment, or will it only make your soul smaller?" He thought a moment and said, "It will make me small." We spoke then of dignity. He returned and in time learned to forgive. The wound did not disappear immediately, but the memory of it ceased to control his choices. He found that new joys entered his life as old resentments left. That is the harvest of forgiveness. Listen. Sometimes the hurt is not from others but from your own expectations. You expect a certain response, and when it does not come, you feel slighted. Manage your expectations. Expect nothing from the world and everything from God. That does not mean you become detached from life. It means you are pleasantly surprised rather than bitterly disappointed. When you expect only the best from God and learn to accept what comes from people, knowing that they are imperfect, you are less likely to feel wounded. There are also moments when pain can be a messenger. If someone's action reveals a pattern, if the same person repeatedly takes advantage of you, for instance, that is not merely an invitation to be spiritual and bear it. That is a clear signal to change your behavior. Spirituality is not a license to be a doormat. It is the strength to act lovingly, clearly, and firmly. The true saint loves with intelligence. Do not be ashamed to seek help. Speak to a friend who is wise, to a teacher, to a counselor. The spiritual path is not meant to be walked in isolation. A wise friend can reflect to you the truth of the situation and show where your own fears are making things worse. Community is a mirror, and with a mirror you can see clearly where the smudge is. Above all, practice the art of surrender. Surrender is not giving up. It is acceptance of what you cannot control and active trust in what you can. Surrender your need for approval. Surrender your right to be avenged. When you surrender these little empires, God will show you a greater kingdom inside. You will find that you can stand in the middle of a storm and be a still point. People will do what people do. You will do what you must. Act kindly, set boundaries, forgive, and then return to the quiet. I tell you plainly, it takes time. Do not expect overnight transformation, but notice progress. If before a single insult would unseat you for weeks, and now it upsets you for an hour, celebrate that hour's victory. Spiritual growth is measured by the little reclaimings of peace. When you look back after months of consistent practice, prayer, meditation, forgiveness, honest speech, you will see that the list of things that once could hurt you has shortened. One by one, the old triggers lose their charge. And finally, remember this. You are loved beyond measure. The love that created the stars holds you in every breath. When you truly know that you are carried by that love, human actions lose their finality. Hurt becomes only a weather pattern in a vast sky. The sky does not become the weather. You are the sky. The acts of others are brief storms. So start with a question and make it a practice. Ask when you rise, can it be that no one can hurt me after this? Then do the small daily things. Come to your breath, say your short prayer, forgive when you can, speak kindly when you must, set gentle boundaries, and always return to the knowledge of God within. In time, you will notice a quiet revolution inside you. The world will still contain its trials, but they will pass through without staying. You will have made a new home, not a home built of other people's approval, but a home built of God's presence. Go now, beloved, and test this truth. Begin where you are with whatever small hurt sits in your heart. Offer it to God, breathe, forgive, and watch how light returns. When your heart is full of light, no shadow can take up residence. No one can hurt you after this, if by this you mean the steadiness of the soul that comes from love, practice, and surrender. May you find that steadiness. May your life be a quiet song, untouched by passing storms.